Welcome back to WaterparkRanger's Let's Play Kingdom Hearts. In the last episode, we started up the Hades Cup, doing some optional content. And wow, we just killed an Angel Star in 2 hits. That's the power of the Ultima Keyblade. Or the Ultima Weapon, rather. It's not even called a Keyblade anymore. I mean, seriously, look at that thing. It hardly looks like a Keyblade by this point. And yet, it still can't get through that annoying little invincibility time that those wizards seem to have whenever they use thunder. Some things never change. Anyway, I think, yeah, this is going to be the next checkpoint match. So, out of this one, we'll have 3 more to go. Well, technically the last one won't be a checkpoint match because it'll be the finisher. So we're almost halfway through the Hades Cup. If there are 50 matches and we're at the 30th, we'll be at 25 pretty soon. So yeah, Cerberus, out of the blue. Remember way back when we fought Cerberus? Well, yeah, obviously he's way easier now. But the truth is, oh yeah, Hercules had this line when you were fighting, and I've been saying the truth is a lot. I guess that's going to be like my post-commentary. I mean, post-end of the game kind of quirk, because I'm just going to say the truth is like every 5 seconds. I forgot how many times I said it last episode, but I seem to recall saying it multiple times. Anyway, when you originally fought Cerberus, Hercules had this smart-ass little comment where he's like, oh, they wouldn't have been able to beat him if it weren't for me wearing him down first. But in all honesty, like, if you check out Cerberus's HP bar back then, it was just like around 1.5 or 2 at the most, I forget, HP bars, as opposed to 4. So Hercules actually did wear it down about halfway, or a little bit more. Because imagine how unfairly difficult that would be. I mean, already for that point in the game, I believe Cerberus to be unfairly difficult. But at this point, he's kind of just like, meh. I mean, even without the Ultima Weapon, he's not all that much of a big deal. But for us with the Ultima Weapon, he's a complete joke. Just like, he's like a random runaway dog that you have to return to his owner in pieces. That's really sad, actually. Oh, it's Thunder! So now we have Thundaga. In Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, I know, I shouldn't be bringing up that really horrible game. But the truth is, it's actually not that horrible. The truth is, wow. In all honesty, the truth is, that's like all it's gonna be. I think that I should probably name the episode title something about the truth. You can't handle the truth? I don't know. I just love making lame puns. For me, I'm always kind of stuck between whether or not to make an episode title a lame pun or some kind of reference to, like, typical shonen anime episode titles. It always ends up being like a weird fusion between the two of them. Kind of weird. Oh, Spookies. Wow, what a horrible name for... Oh, and, for some reason the sky here is like... No, it hasn't gotten to the Purple Twilight part yet. It's just another one of the night stages. Never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. There is something I wanted to mention. It's about, I don't normally do this, because I don't normally like giving away the things that I LP next. For the record, you're not going to be... Oh, once again, for the record, that's something that I love to say. I actually had an old chemistry teacher, or maybe it was just general science teacher, who whenever anyone would say, like, fur, as in the word for, people just tend to say the word fur when they're saying the word for really quickly. He'd say, fur, the stuff that grows on animals. Oh yeah, but anyway, for the record, I don't normally give things away, like the next LP that I'm going to do, but you're not going to be expecting the next one that's coming up. I would hardly... And there are a couple people that know what's going to be coming next, and I'd appreciate it if they didn't give it away. Just for the sake of making it a surprise. Seriously, no spoilers. You can go ahead and write some smart-ass comment, though, about how it's going to suck. Because it's not a quality game like the others, let me assure you. But it was fun to do, actually. It was fun to do, and I never want to play it again. But that's not the point. My point is I don't normally give away the games that I'm going to LP next. And there is one that I definitely want to Let's Play at some point in the future that I'm sure I've voiced my desire to do this before. Mother 3. If you've never heard of Mother 3, like, you can't be blamed for it. Not many people know that it exists. And I'm not saying, like, it's super underground. There's a good amount of people that do know it exists, but I'd say probably less people know about Mother 3 than Homestuck. I'm just taking a random guess, and not a lot of people know about Homestuck, so Mother 3 is kind of out there. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe they're about 50-50? Wow. It's tough for me to say. Either way, both the fandoms are pretty devoted, like, freakishly so. But there's a good reason for it. It's because they're really, like, it's really quality stuff. Mother 3 is Seriously, I'm not exaggerating when I say this, and wow, look, like I said, opposite armor appearing not even as a checkpoint boss, he's just there. And not even a recolor, like, guard armor had a recolor, red armor, stealth sneak had a recolor. Opposite armor doesn't get a recolor, they just put opposite armor right in there. They're like, you're not good enough to even make a lame palette swap up, we're bringing you back as it is. Yeah, Mother 3, terrific game, and I want to do an LP of it, but the problem with it is that because it's in Japanese, and I have a cartridge of it, so I could technically do it from the Game Boy player, like Pirates of the Caribbean GBA. Wow, I hate to mention Mother 3 and Pirates of the Caribbean GBA in the same statement, but I suppose I must, for the purposes of this discussion. But the whole idea is just, it's going to be in Japanese, so you won't be able to understand what they're saying, and that's kind of a problem. And I mean, I'm thinking I'm going to have to find another way of recording my LPs in order to eventually get Mother 3 out here, because it's a project that I'm determined to do, just cause it's one of the best games ever. I don't exaggerate when I say that. There's hardly anything wrong with it. And I had to say, before I played Thousand Year Door, generally, I kind of hated RPGs. And it's strange to say, like, for such a random and obscure game as Mother 3, Mother 3 was the first RPG that changed my mind about how I felt about the genre, because it was just such a good game. And it has a pretty unique battle system. Some people aren't such a big fan of it, but me, because I'm very musically minded, it's something that I really got into, and I kind of still feel to this day that there's no real battle system that can compare to it, just in terms of how fun it makes every random encounter. Although there are some exceptions, I was kind of surprised by Paper Mario, and then eventually, it's tough for me to say whether I like Paper Mario's battle system more than Mother 3. They have their own ups and downs, mostly ups. They don't really have downs, per se. Like, because I've been playing the old Final Fantasies now, 6, and a little bit of 7, and optional battles aren't exactly fun. That's the thing, it's like, you can have a really good story, and incredible music. I have to say, Final Fantasy, if there's something that it does best, it's probably in the music. But the random battles themselves aren't all that fun. Like, in Kingdom Hearts, they're fun enough because it's, like, more active, and it's action, so it's entertaining. Even if at this point it's just more button mashy because we have the ultimate weapon, most people won't have that problem, because they're going to be playing with more balanced stats. But I just kind of wanted to show you what there was to fight. Here's the next checkpoint boss, Cloud and Leon. Under normal circumstances, this is a grueling battle, and potentially, in my opinion, the hardest match that the Hades Cup has to offer. But for us, we're not going to have too much of a problem, because we're just going to plow through, as we normally do. I still guess I should recommend a strategy for facing them normally. I would recommend taking out... would I go for Leon first or Cloud? I don't know. I think I might go for Cloud first, because Leon seems to be a little bit more slow. Yeah, and Cloud is just more of a threat in my opinion. I would get rid of Cloud first, and also try and separate them. The real danger, of course, is both of them going after you at once. It's just kind of unfair that you have to face both of them, to be honest with you. Oh yeah, so Cloud's getting low on his HP, so we're just gonna take him down the remainder of the way now. He's probably gonna end up using that annoying super attack of his. I believe it's called Omnislash. We've seen it before. He'll say, like, farewell, and start flying around, slashing at everything in sight. But if we could kill him before he gets a chance to... Oh, never mind! Run! Run for your life! Run for your life! That's still pretty threatening, even with all our stat boosts. It's annoying if you don't want to get hit by that, especially consecutively. I believe consecutively, if you're hit by consecutive hits of that, even at this level, and this insane amount of stats, it can still kill you. It's just a very powerful move. That being said, bam! No more Cloud. And now it's just Leon. The final match against Leon. It's finally here, guys. We're never gonna fight Leon again. I remember how much I hated Leon in that early episode. No one's impressed by your giant gunblade. Dude, put that thing away. There are children here. There we go. We can, like, block all his moves, too. That's the thing. It seems like the ultimate weapon is also amazing at just chaining together more hits than ever before. And in addition, just normal hits seem to immediately discount other hits that things are trying to do back to you. Oh, and Lionheart. Well, Lionheart, what can I say about that Keyblade? We're probably not going to be using it. I think that the thing about Lionheart is it has a very good summon charge or whatever. So it's great if you're using summons, but we haven't even used a summon at this point. I will assure you, though, before this Let's Play is done, there will be one episode in which we use summons. Not for the sake of showing them, because the battle is, in my opinion, where we're going to end up using them. It's just, it's hell if you don't use the summons. there's actually an optional boss, I think I might have mentioned it before, who's only available to fight in Final Mix, and I've always kind of wondered, like, how hard it would be for me to face him. Because he does seem really difficult. I'm not going to exactly spoil who he is, because it kind of has to do with spoilers in Kingdom Hearts 2. It's a Kingdom Hearts 2 person that you fight, in the Final Mix version of this game. And from what I saw, he seems like a really challenging boss. But from what I've seen with my skill using the Ultimate Weapon, I think if I had the Ultimate Weapon, I'd be able to fight him and have fun without it being necessarily too challenging per se. I might lose once or twice. But he seemed really tough. Like, maybe even harder than... well, you'll see who it is. The truth is, there are some optional bosses that I was saving for after Ansem, particularly because they're just so powerful that if we were to fight Ansem after them, he would be just like such a cakewalk compared to them. Like, there's literally some of the strongest optional bosses that I fought in any game. And I'm not saying like I'm a person who goes out playing all the hardest games. I know that's far from the truth. But I have played a good amount of games, and on Expert of this game, there is still one of them that I've never managed to defeat at my current level. I guess if I really wanted to, I could try and do it, but no. It's just like, it got to the point where it was just so challenging it wasn't necessarily really fun anymore. That's the thing about challenge in RPGs, you really want to try and balance yourself while you're playing. Oh, and this is actually a pretty incredible match here. Well, not too incredible since we can beat all these guys in one hit. But just, you're going to see how many Dark Balls appear at the end. I recall there being like 15. See, there's like a line of 5. Not too bad. Okay. Just going through them one after the other. Ah, it warped away. Wow, I wanted to get them all. They're just pathetic, aren't they? They're like shadows at this point. There we go. That's like that's usually, this would be a pretty intimidating thing to be faced with. But because we have the ultimate weapon, we just saw through all of them. Like, it's nothing to us. Nothing is anything to us except for maybe 3 people that we haven't fought yet. And there's going to be entire episodes devoted to them, so we'll get to them in time. Oh yeah, I heard that, because I have been playing Final Fantasy VII, I know that there's supposed to be some really challenging optional bosses in that game. I know there's the weapons. I've heard of them, Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon. But I've also heard rumors about some other guy, which is apparently harder than both of them. And I don't know, maybe it's because Final Fantasy VII, not just as a game, but as a series, has gotten so convoluted and bloated because it was successful, they just kind of, like, ran it into the ground with so many, like, different sequels and prequels. And I know not all of them are supposed to be bad, like, supposedly Crisis Core is good. But I don't really care for such things. Like, Square Enix has a way of making me really not want to give a shit about all, like, they just take series too far. And I say, like, it's okay if you have maybe 2 games and they're tied together. But once you start putting in pretentious titles, like Final Fantasy 13-2, like, I don't... No, just put the next number up. I don't want 13-2, or like 7.5, or 6.5, which is really a prequel to 7, has nothing to do with 6. Stuff like that just, it bothers me to no end. Oh, and right. What are these things again? The name just appeared! And I wasn't reading it. Interceptor, that must have been its name. It must have been called an Interceptor, yes. Well, I'm sure we're gonna have another match where they appear. And also, I'm not doing that thing where I promised, like, to do the No More Heroes reading out each match, so I'm gonna start doing that. Wow, I'm such a bad person. I'm a horrible person for forgetting to do that. That promise that I made way back in, like, what, episode 30? Yeah, sorry if I don't remember that. But anyway, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do the No More Heroes voice to introduce the match. Interceptors. Wow, of course. Defender, not Interceptor. And that wasn't a good enough No More Heroes voice. I'm gonna have to try harder for the next one. It's been a while since I watched some No More Heroes clips, so kind of ad-libbing here. I forget exactly what it sounded like. So let's just take a deep breath and try this again. See if I can get the No More Heroes voice right. Elder Force. Ah, lame. Not good enough. But anyway, now as you can see, End of the World enemies are starting to appear. And if you didn't do End of the World first, these things are a handful and potentially can kill you if you're not careful. But like I said, 2 hits dispatches them all. Okay, I think we're set. We're actually going to fight the checkpoint boss next episode, and it's a special case, so you're going to see who it is. Next episode is going to be the longest yet. See you then.